Today's game is brought to you by your local Lincoln Mercury dealers. Check out the new models at lincolnmercury.com. Back in Champaign, Illinois, it's halftime. We're just moments away from kicking off the second half. The home opener in the fall of 2003. Illinois on top 31-3 over Illinois State. And Mr. Smith will take a look at the first half stats, at least the leaders. Mr. Souza's thrown it 25 times already this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Redbird fan, you'll take 15 for 25 for 115 from Souza any day of the week. He's being productive. He put the ball on the ground in that first series, which led to a missed opportunity deep in the other team's black zone. They should have got at least 3 points out of that drive and came away with 0. And then the wide receiver on the screen put it on the floor too, and that'll get you beat.
And Butcher 11 of 15, 171, and Mark Kornfeld, a former quarterback out of St. Louis, 3 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. That very acrobatic touchdown grab in the back of the end zone to open up the scoring for Illinois. Now the Redbirds will be kicking it from the 50, of course. The penalty after excessive. Oh, there's a big hit on the special teams at the 40-yard line. Oh, they went with the onside kick, kicking from the 50, and they have the football. Let's take another look at this.
Wow, what a hit.
Now, go back and remember after the Travis Williams touchdown, 66 yards on a blocked field goal, the excessive celebration, there was a penalty on the flag, and they decided to take it to open up the second half, so they got to kick at the 50. Now, who makes the initial contact here?
That was a great shot.
Here's a better look.
Number 44 delivers the boom there.
Brad Haywood, good hands. He's a fullback, but he couldn't hold on to the football. He took a shot.
Ball's been recovered by Illinois. First down.
Well, Illinois State thought they had the football, but Ron Turner and the Fighting Illini will open up the second half regardless with the ball. But boy, that was a nice gamble and a nice play on the special teams by the Redbirds.
I like Boomer Johnson as a coach. I mean, he has called some plays today, which really have given his team a strategic advantage. Now, obviously, they don't have the same caliber of athletes that you see on the Illinois sideline, but as far as actual play calling is concerned, this guy's all over it.
Well, Denver Johnson, when he was at Mississippi State in '95, he was considered one of the top assistants in the SEC that year. And they open up the second half with Halsey. Halsey keeps it on the ground, and he's up over the 45-yard line.
Well, there you have another pull play where they give you a little counter action and pull the onside guard around to lead through the hole. And the way E.B. Halsey's running here, any minute, it doesn't feel like he's about to break a long one. I mean, he's always a shoestring tackle away from doing something huge in the run game.
Well, last week against Missouri, he averaged 6.9 yards a carry. Illinois State holding him pretty much in check at 3.8. I mean, you'd love to get 3-4 yards a carry, but considering 6.9 last week, Illinois State not doing a bad job. Penalty flags down. Halsey again. He spins. He's up near the 49-yard line.
Yeah, you got to think holding there when those flags come in from the back, Judge.
So the Fighting Illini of Illinois opening up last year 1-5, losing last week 22-15 in spite of statistically dominating Missouri. And they gave up the football to open up this game, and Illinois State drove from the 35 all the way down near the end zone before coughing it up.
Offense.
Oh, Rod, you called it right, holding against Illinois.
Second down.
And we're coming back 10.
Yeah, we're back in that, and then Coach Turner, 1 or 2 times a game where he gets in this mode where he wants to run the football, and this is the perfect time to do it. You have enough cushion here with the points on the scoreboard to go ahead and run the football and find out what your linemen like to do. Are they good drive blockers? Are they good at pulling? What can they be successful at moving the ball on the ground?
Now it's 2nd and 14 for Illinois now. Butcher, straight drop. Swings it out. This is ripped and hit hard just shy of the 35-yard line. That time it was Morris Virgil, or was it Halsey? It was Halsey with the football.
Making the tackle, 28 James.
And you look at the inside linebacker, Boomer, coming out here trying to make the play here. He just can't quite get there. Halsey's got a little bit too much speed for him. And he ends up taking a shot by the time the play's over. But a well-developed play there. Everybody runs vertical. Dump the ball to your athletic back in the flat and see if it can make something happen.
Now they gained a yard on the play, so it's 3rd and 13 now. Butcher with 21 touchdowns last year, second to the 26th thrown by Brad Banks of the University of Iowa.
And they come with pressure. It's a blitz, folks.
Future going downfield, has his man Hayden, and it's broken up. Nicely that time by Antoine Oliver.
Yeah, Antoine Oliver gave up a deep ball earlier in the game on the fade route, but here does a great job of just staying on the outside line, the outside of the receiver. Keeps running to the upfield shoulder. A lot of times defensive backs will look back in the backfield to try to make a play, and they'll lose speed, they'll lose cadence and rhythm in the way they're running the football, and they'll create separation for the receiver. But in this case, he sticks right to him like glue.
Oliver, another transfer from Eastern Illinois. This one's blocked, and it's a big break for Illinois State, and it's recovered at about the 11-yard line by Illinois. Another penalty flag back at the midfield stripe, also one back at the 40-yard line.
Ball was down by number 44, Matt Sinclair. There is a flag.
Ball was eventually down by Matt Sinclair. Steve Weatherford, the kicker, he did not kick against Missouri. And keep in mind, in that first quarter against the Tigers of Missouri, that the Illini had a block punt as well. So that's not going to bode too well in the eyes of the coaching staff here.
I mean, these flags are being thrown, 25 yards down the field. And I don't know if it's just me, Mike, but they seem late, too.
Illegal substitution. Charge to the defensive team. That 5-yard penalty is from the previous spot. We'll repeat 4th down.
Tough break there. You get in, block the kick. And Denver Johnson watches his team have to do it all over again.
Illinois to print the ball again. Weatherford.
Well, they come free right up the middle, and he lays out just like you teach in practice to keep your hands together. Often, young players will rush the punter, and they'll separate their hands going for the block. In this case, they don't. Matt Sinclair, an alert guy with a lot of playing experience, gets back to cover the thing up before it goes for a score. But it's all for naught.
So Steve Weatherford back on the field. His first punt, 51 yards. And keep in mind, they had great coverage on that first punt where they caused the fumble. And this is a high kick. And it's taken at the 21-yard line. So Andrew Paposi calls the fair catch, and that's where the Redbirds will start at the 22. 12:54 to go in the third quarter. 31-3. Illinois on top of Illinois State.
Okay, we got 3rd and very long. What's the plan?
Hold on. Their defensive back Miller's nursing a pulled hammy. So go deep. Love you.
Miller's got a pulled hammy. Go deep. Love you.
Get what you need from the internet faster. Sign up for SBC Yahoo DSL for just $29.95 a month, guaranteed. And you could win a trip to the Nokia Sugar Bowl. One more way, we bring it all home.
Hey, we're back in Bloomington Extreme Motors under the big top, the big tent sale where Dan O'Brien, your guys are going to be moving a lot of metal this weekend.
That's right, this weekend. Everything's got to go, Dan. 500 vehicles, every make, every model, import, domestic. We've got new vans, brand new Kia Sedona vans for $19,000. We've got new Kias for as little as $7,900. We've got new Hyundais for as little as $8,900. They all come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
It won't get any better than this weekend in Bloomington.
You can't find a year-end clearance price lower than ours.
Offering in Washington saves you over $10,000 on a new Olds Bravada. Enjoy all-wheel drive, heated leather seats, power windows, locks, and more. It was $37,765. It's now $26,994. The GM commitment, a 5-year, 60,000-mile protection plan or cash alternative, and continued availability of service and parts.
Get the guaranteed lowest price, or we'll make your first payment for you.
Only at Uftring Chevy Old Saab in Washington.
Wow, that really is a low price.
Yeah, absolutely guaranteed.
Some of the young fans enjoying the sunshine here in Champaign on this college football Saturday, enjoying the score as well, 31-3. The Fighting Illini on top of the Redbirds, and Mike Souza and company now takes over the football at the 21-yard line. Souza, already 25 pass attempts, only had 16 in the first game against Drake, and the give is to Edwards. He breaks to the outside, has a little bit of running room. He's up over the 25, dropped at about the 27-yard line.
It looks like Homer Johnson wants to start the half out with a little direct run play to the left side to Denver Johnson. Just a little stretch.
Gain of 6 yards.
Sharon Edwards, 41 carries, 190 yards last year. 16 carries, 152 yards last week in their victory over Drake. Gain of 6 on the play, 2nd and 4 for the Redbirds. It's Twins at the bottom of your screen. Play action. Souza comes back the other way, hits his big tight end. That's Mike Larson, and Larson's up over the 35-yard line.
Larson has the kind of size that you expect out of a Big Ten tight end, and over 6'3" and 250 pounds. He's a big, good-looking athlete.
His first catch of the afternoon, first catch of the season for Denver Johnson. He had 11 grabs for 127 yards a year ago. In a big game against the Boilermakers, as a matter of fact, his last trip into Big Ten territory. It's another first down for the Redbirds. Ball resting right at the 35-yard line. Souza trying to get it back through the air. This time it's shot, looking for Dwayne Smith.
And the defensive end got great pressure on that play, which just sort of throw there a little bit. Souza at 6 feet tall is going to have a tough time getting the ball over a strong defensive end at 6'5", especially with his long arms he has.
Well, Smith, 2 grabs last week, 6 catches, actually 7 catches in the first half against his former teammates for 68 yards. Trips to the bottom of your screen for Souza now on 2nd and 10. Sinclair shows blitz, drops back. Here's the lob, and it's looking, and he's got his guy, Dwayne Smith. Beautiful adjustment by the former Illini player to pull in the reception as he beats Sharif Abdullah.
Tackle made by
Well, the play prior to that, they pulled out Chris Morton, the starter there, the senior. They got the former All-Big Ten player to give number 22 Abdullah some playing time here, and he goes right out there and they go after him with the fade route. He's not bad there in coverage, but Smith just makes a great play.
9 yards.
Mr. Smith doing a great job this afternoon. It goes to show you what kind of receivers that he was buried under here at Illinois with the likes of Brandon Lloyd and Walter Young, Aaron Moorhead and Greg Lewis. Dwayne Smith looks like a big-time receiver.
He certainly does.
Keeps it on the ground. Sharon Edwards, this time he's dragged down just inside the 35-yard line. Taking the initial contact, that time for Illinois, Winston Taylor, the 6-foot senior linebacker.
Yeah, the offensive line for Illinois State was getting some good push near the end of the first half, but they're having a tough time moving people now.
Talk about some of the Illini guys moving on to the National Football League. Eugene Wilson, a great cornerback here, plays for New England, your old team. And Brandon Lloyd, a one-time cornerback, and Dio Pashos and Young. I think Walter Young in the 7th round, he was a steal in the 7th round for the Panthers down in Carolina.
Oh, yeah, the Panthers are very, very happy with him. I mean, he may start this first week due to an injury.
Young, a very tall receiver, goes up and gets after it. Souza has his man open at the 30-yard line, and Smith is down inside the 25-yard line. So the Redbirds continue to move the chains.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it all day long. Denver Johnson is putting his quarterback, Souza, who doesn't have a huge, strong arm, and he's not very big, putting him in positions to be successful. And that's the quarterback draw, that's wide receiver screen, that's the 90 game, the quick game, a 3-step drop, dump it out to the flat, and let your athletes make plays one-on-one.
The last catch, Laurent Robinson on the far side. My mistake. Souza comes back the other way, looks right, comes back left. This time it's Smith, and Smith is down near the 15-yard line. Tripped up by Mark Jackson again.
Yep, the wide receiver screen, we just talked about it. It's been very effective against Illinois. I'm surprised Illinois hasn't gone to some kind of spy scheme where they keep Matt Sinclair about 4 yards off the line of scrimmage. But right here you get a deep drop. It looks like screen to the right. You see the lineman rolling out to the right, but it's actually a wide receiver screen to the left. It's very difficult to read. But what you do is you take Matt Sinclair and you move him back about 5 yards off the ball, and you sit him right in the middle of the field as a spy on the quarterback for quarterback draw, and allow him to come out and make plays on that screen.
30 attempts now for Souza. 2nd and 1. Souza, 12 of his last 16. 3-step. Looking for Smith. Had him at the 7, and it caromed off his outstretched arms. Incomplete.
Yeah, there's no need to throw the ball that hard when it's only traveling about 15 yards in the air. Souza just gunned it right through his receiver's hands.
Well, Dwayne Smith, one of the Gateway Conference all-newcomer team last year. As a matter of fact, Illinois State had 6 members on that team 4 are playing today. You had Smith, Souza, Troy Maskell, the punter, and Stafford Davis, the offensive lineman. Single setback now. Souza with the quarterback draw. He's hit immediately. Boy, the Fighting Illini sniffed that one out. Good job by Mike Cassidy's club.
Yeah, they'd seen the quarterback draw in 3rd and 3 enough times today to realize that, hey, this is the play we've got to get defended. You know, as successful as the Redbirds have been with their quarterback draw, that really was a great opportunity to maybe run a play-action pass or something and take a chance to go into the zone, especially if you are aware that you're going to go for it on 4th down. Why not take a shot on 3rd?
4th and 1. The big guy, Kevin Krieger, in the backfield along with Edwards. Give us to Edwards. He hits that line of scrimmage, and he runs into an Illinois wall right at the 15-yard line.
Well, that's going to be close. They didn't get great movement, but they also didn't get pushed back. It looks like a dead heat there.
It was a decent second effort by Edwards once he hit the line of scrimmage. Now the Redbirds indicating 1st down, but we'll have to wait for the official call.
Looks like it's a 1st down from here.
Yeah. The marker's right at the 15-yard line. You can see the spot for Denver Johnson. Mentioned a one-time member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, also at the LA Express, Houston Gamblers. So spent some time with Steve Young and Jim Kelly. Johnson, a one-time offensive lineman at Tulsa. There's the mark, and they've got the 1st down. You see Christian Morton for Illinois saying no, they didn't get it, but they got it by an inch, maybe 2.
Yeah, great second effort, as you mentioned. The offensive line didn't get great push, and they also didn't get knocked back. Call it dead heat up front, and the running back just, with extra effort, gets that ball across where they needed to go.
17 1st downs for the Redbirds here this afternoon. Illinois with 14. Interesting stat right there. 8:25. Clock is winding down. 31-3. Redbirds trying to get on the board with a touchdown. Edwards, the ball carrier, breaks to the outside off tackle, gets to the 10 inside the 10, drop down at the 9-yard line.
Well, they're starting to get a little push. It seems a little bit as though the front 7 for the Illini is starting to get a little tired. I mean, they've been on the field quite a bit. You have to think about every time the Illini have scored, it's been a drive for 142, a drive for 131. I mean, they're not holding the ball a long time when they score. So this Illini defense has been on the field quite a bit. You know, we're looking at 18 1st downs if they make a 1st down here. That's a long time to be on the field.
Souza looking over that Illinois defense. Sharon Edwards trying to make it 4 straight years with a 1,000-yard rusher for Illinois State. Souza drops back, fires incomplete here on the near sideline. Robinson, the intended receiver.
Yeah, they fire the ball to the left here, looking for the 3-step drop. But the corners are going to start playing this very, very aggressively as you get down in the red zone, because what are you going to do? Run an out and up, a double move? There's not enough room down the field for the deep stuff. So corners start to tighten up on the receivers a little bit and make better breaks on the 90 game. You're going to have to go to a different concept to try to move the ball through the air. But the 3-step drop almost becomes null and void when you get down inside the 10-yard line like they are.
Started from their own 22. 12 plays, 68 yards. Nice drive by Illinois State, and it's completed, and it's in for the touchdown. Smith, looked like there was some movement. I don't see a penalty flag down. Souza's looking at the official saying we will decline. Although, again, there is not one penalty flag on the turf. There is at the 10-yard line. Excuse me. Definitely some movement up front.
Offside. Defense. Penalty is declined. Play result. Touchdown.
So Dwayne Smith having a big afternoon coming back to Champaign, Illinois after playing for the Fighting Illini in previous years.
Yeah, a great hard count draws the guys offside. I just said that the 90-game 3-step drop wasn't going to work, and what do? They go right to it for a touchdown. What the heck do I know, right? But a great play nonetheless, and Smith is having a career day.
And the Redbird kick is up and good. So Denver Johnson's crew with 10 points on their trip to Champaign. Plenty of football to be played this afternoon. 7:28 to go. Still in the 3rd quarter. It's now Illinois at 31-10.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Extreme Motors in Bloomington. Dan O'Brien, you've done a lot of crazy things. I've known you for a lot of years. You've gone nuts this weekend.
We really have every make, every model, over 500 vehicles, Dan. Cars for as little as $999. We've got no payment. No payments until next year. We've got brand new vans. We got brand new cars for as little as $7,900 with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
You won't find a better selection. You won't find that your deal is worth more than this weekend. Extreme Motors in Bloomington.
When is a diet pill worth $153 a bottle? When you're more than 20 pounds overweight and every diet plan has failed. Now there's Leptoprin.
Specifically developed for the significantly overweight, backed by 2 United States patents, 2 published clinical trials, and an ironclad 100% money-back guarantee. Leptoprin is simply the most powerful, clinically proven weight control compound available, period.
If you're one of those people who constantly worry about 5 or 6 vanity pounds, Leptoprin is not for you. Leptoprin is much too expensive and much too powerful for the casual dieter. But if you're one of the millions of Americans who are 20, 30, 50 pounds or more overweight, you need Leptoprin.
So when is a diet pill worth $153 a bottle? When it works, really works.
Call 800-350-4948. That's 800-350-4948.
Back in Champaign, it's now 31-10. We said at halftime, Denver Johnson said this football team will compete. They've come out and opening up the second half, putting together a nice drive, and they have been competitive. 31-10, 13 plays, 78 yards, and just 5:26. Dwayne Smith gets his first touchdown of 2003. Mike Souza actually with his first touchdown strike of the fall of 2003 after going 8 of 16 for 45 yards and an interception last week against Drake.
Yeah, Dwayne Smith, number 80 for the Redbirds, is putting in work against his old boys, isn't he?
So Stephen Carroll ready to kick off for the Redbirds as they try to climb back into the game. They actually have more yardage. There's the onside kick again. And again, it's a loose football. And again, the Redbirds are indicating they have the ball, which wasn't the case last time. But now they're showing a lot of emotion down there, just outside the 40-yard line. So Denver Johnson comes back with back-to-back onside kicks, and this time it looks like they do have the pigskin.
If you're Illinois and you know they're down by the other team's down by 21 points, why would you keep the same guys on the front? Why wouldn't you put your hands team in there, because they have nothing to lose? Don't leave a big lineman in there, a big linebacker in there. He's got pads all over himself. He's got tape all over himself. He can't catch this football. Get your hands team in there.
Well, that's Brad Haywood, a fullback. It's twice now the fullback. And they use their fullbacks a lot coming out of the backfield to catch the football, although he is more of a throwback.
He's the blocker.
Grinded out fullback. As far as blocking and getting that short yardage, he's not the Jason or Kerry Davis. But a big play. Here comes Sousa again. Smith, 15-yard line, dropped down by Christian Morton. Another big game by the Redbirds.
You know what? You could see Illini starting to get a little comfortable. They took their best corner, Morton, out of the game about 5 minutes ago. Heck, now they got him back in the game. What a great play-action fake, a 2-man route, and Morton's in good shape to cover it, and the safety didn't get over to help him out. If a ball's caught down the field, inside the hash, your free safety's got to make a play on it.
Dwayne Smith has 140 yards, 141 yards receiving this afternoon after coming back to Champaign. This one's complete. Ramon Barber just shy of the 5-yard line. Immediately hits. Darnell Ray coming up to make the stick, the redshirt freshman, but the Redbirds are knocking on the door again.
You know, they score here, and now you're looking at a 14-point game. I mean, the battle has been joined again by the Redbirds. Come out the second half, very animated and ready to get back in this thing. It seems to me, Mike, like this Illini team. You go back to last year, when they get a lead or they start to feel comfortable, they start to relax a little bit. They don't stay intense, and if you don't, this Redbird team can sneak up on you.
Well, they're trying to do some sneaking right now. Twin receivers to the left. They go to the top of the screen. This one's going to be picked off. No, dropped by Christian Morton on the far side. Intended receiver was Dwayne Smith. That was Darnell Ray, the cornerback up there on the top of your screen, almost having the pick. Probably should have had it.
Yeah, if you're a corner, you've got to take this. This is a gift. You know, the receiver reads slant. It's a misread by the quarterback. Throws the ball outside. And number 2, Ray's got to go out there and make a play on that ball. Bail your team out of this bad situation.
I think he was cognizant of the fact he was running out of real estate. The ball actually goes right through his arms. 3rd down and 5 yards to go now. Ball resting at the 6-yard line. They could get a first down at the 1-yard line. Souza trying to cut it back in. He's going down. The big defensive end, Derek Strong, making the defensive play for the final lineup.
Well, they had trips to the bottom of the screen. They had one receiver to the top of the screen, and the back left the protection, went out. And, you know, you're just not going to be able to protect against the Illini front 4 for this long. He's dancing around the backfield, not quite sure what he wants to do, and Strong's going to get free and come in and make a tackle.
Against Wisconsin last year, twice he came down with big 3rd down stops and 1 4th down play in the victory over the Badgers. Stephen Carroll now kicks this one through, so Stephen Carroll is perfect on the season. And they don't get 7, but they add 3 to the scoreboard. 5:38 to go, and it's now 31-13. Illinois State climbing back.
In play, game on.
Body shop? Kurt's Auto Body on Ireland Grove Road, Bloomington.
You want a good time? You got it on UPM's new Tuesday night. It all starts with a hit show one-on-one. Then Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith bring you a new comedy, All of Us.
I don't understand what's going on up here.
You know ain't nothing going on up here.
And not even having a kid's gonna tame this shock job.
There's no room for kids in morning radio. That's why I never had kids.
Really, I thought it was because no one would do you.
Dan Cortese stars in Rock Me Baby. 3 great comedies, all
For you.
Starting UPM Tuesday, September 16th at 8/7 Central.
Back in Champaign, 5:38 to go. I don't want to say the game is getting interesting, but it's getting a little more interesting than it was maybe 10 minutes ago.
And if the Redbirds don't turn the ball over twice in that first quarter, I mean, you're probably looking at a score more like 24-20 right now.
There's a short kick after back-to-back onside kicks. This time, Illinois pulls it down at the 35-yard line, and they made sure they got their mitts on it. So the tight end, Anthony McClellan, on the receiving team, pulls it in. Illinois State with 10 unanswered points now as Denver Johnson not only wants to compete, but sneak in here and pull off the big upset on this Saturday afternoon. Heard about Wake Forest leading North Carolina State. He said, hey, let's pull off even a bigger upset.
Yeah, you know, if you look statistically, though, you break that game down, you find out that Wake Forest has done the best job in the ACC statistically versus North Carolina State since Chuck Amato got there. So Wake Forest has a little way to defend that passing attack.
Hayden in motion. Butcher keeps it on the ground. Up near the 40-yard line. This time it's Morris Virgil, the 5'10 junior out of Urbana, Illinois. He was adopted when he was 13 years of age. Born in the city of Chicago, moved from foster home to foster home, and finally found a home right here in the Champaign-Urbana area. A fantastic high school career.
You know, as much as they talked about the development of freshmen, EB has Morris Virgil's got to get some carries and staying at the game here because it's easy to lose a back in Big Ten play as physical as it is, and you need 2 tailbacks that can play.
Penalty flags. Hayden in motion. They were going from the I formation that time.
Ball start offense.
Well, Halsey had the big game, 139 yards.
Still second down.
Against Missouri. And you look at Morris Virgil, he carried the ball the first 2 or 3 times in the first quarter against Missouri, and there was really nothing there. And Ron Turner told us yesterday Hey, let's put things in perspective. We were doing absolutely no blocking when Virgil had the football.
Yeah, and EB comes in the game and runs it all over the place, and Virgil sits on the sidelines wondering, I wish I had those opportunities with the holes that he was seeing in the second half.
Well, Morris Virgil exploded onto the scene against Arkansas State. 12 carries, 131 yards, 3 touchdowns last year. Bucher pulls it in, flush from the pocket now. He's up to 30. He's going to keep it himself, and he gets to possibly the 40-yard line before he dives out of bounds.
I understand being young and in college and feeling good about yourself, but if you got a guy who's potential All-American, All-Big Ten performer quarterback, you want him to stay on his feet there on third and long with the almost 20-point lead. Stay on your feet, John. We don't see you get hurt or wreck a shoulder or a wrist like Chad Pennington of the Jets there, diving out of bounds. You stay on your feet and live to play another day.
Well, there's no doubt he's a key to this Illinois football team, especially last year leading the Big Ten in passing, doing it all on talent. Here he goes downfield, has his man, Cornfield. In the Redbird territory inside the 40, dropped at about the 37-yard line. So the former quarterback, as a matter of fact, the first quarterback in the St. Louis area to pass for over 5,000 yards, getting it done on the receiving end today.
Bucher drop back in the pocket here, and he has improved his footwork in the first half. He throws that ball moving forward, gets his body into it, and just zips it in there. The Redbirds are playing a ton of man-to-man coverage now, taking some chances with some blitzing, and they're happy. They're down, and they're giving it their all, but you're going to have some plays like that happen when you line up at man-to-man every down.
Virgil, the single setback. They swing out to Halsey. So Halsey and Virgil both in the ball game. And keep in mind that they will use Halsey from the tailback spot. They'll split him out. This out-of-town scoreboard update is brought to you by SBC Yahoo DSL. Get what you need faster. Michigan now up 22-3 over Houston, and Penn State's on the board 24-7 to Boston College.
Yeah, late in the third quarter. That's not what you expect.
Still 13-7 Ohio State in the third quarter over San Diego State.
Wake Forest is a shocker. But like I said, if you break it down statistically, Wake Forest always does a good job against NC State. Check them out.
Hey, buddy. Purdue is losing 10-7. Taking it to the house. Morris Virgil, touchdown. And Illinois, 35 yards. Three touchdowns last year. Averaged 7.7. Every time he carried the football. Had -5 yards rushing last week against Missouri. This time he goes the distance for 35.
Yeah, we did talk about it. I mean, this is a sprint draw. And when you're the Redbirds and you're blitzing like crazy, trying to get back into the game, all you need is one gap to become uncovered before there's a hole. And there's nobody in the backfield to come pick up the pace and to make the tackle.
John Gochman, a one-time walk-on at Iowa, is automatic right down the middle of the freeway, and it's 38-13. So the Redbirds score 10 unanswered points. John Bucher said that's enough. Let's get Morris Virgil on the scoreboard.
Yeah, sprint draw action. The fullback comes out and blocks out the linebacker, and there's nobody left to make the tackle. When you're blitzing and playing man-to-man coverage, it's just it's a situation when you're gambling, and they got caught. Nice run by Virgil.
Great camera work that time, too, by the ESPN Plus crew. Right into your living room. Morris Virgil, at 216 yards last year, takes it to the house on a 35-yard touchdown scamper. Of course, he had to back up Antonio Harris, the single-season rushing king here for Ron Turner.
And with all the talk about the freshman E.B. Hansley, that's a good play for the Illini Ball Club, bigger than they know, because it's going to give Virgil a chance, obviously, to score and keep his confidence up and keep him into the game, despite all the headlines going to the true freshman. You hear that stuff when you're a college athlete, you start to figure, hey, well, I guess this next guy coming in is supposed to be better than me. I'm never going to play again. Kids transfer, they leave. This will keep Virgil's spirits up and keep him competing and into the game, because you need two tailbacks in the Big Ten.
Gochman with the kick. He drives it into the end zone. Sharon Edwards thinks about it, and he thinks differently. Goes down on his knees, so they will start from the 20-yard line. So it's 38-13. We're in Champaign, Illinois, Memorial Stadium. Alongside Rod Smith, I'm Mike Gleason. It's the home opener in 2003 for the Fighting Illini. And Illinois State trying to make it interesting here in the second half. It's 38-13. And you look at the yardage. Illinois State, now no coach, 1AA, Division I, they're not going to talk about moral victories, but that is somewhat of a moral victory right there if they can get out of the ball game and actually have more yardage than Illinois.
Yeah, they've done a wonderful job moving the football today, and they're not done yet.
And there's a guy who's having a big afternoon, Sousa and Dwayne Smith. Dwayne Smith's grandmother passed away this week. They were extremely close. This young man is having a career day.
Yeah, Dwayne Smith, you transferred to the Redbird organization coming from Illinois, and he's made some terrific catches today. He just got so far behind on the depth charts that he didn't feel like he was going to have a chance to participate with Illinois, so he goes to the Redbirds and he makes a tons of plays. I mean, what a way to come back and play in your old stadium.
Very fluid receiver. I would think there's several Big Ten teams you could play for, but he'll be a star here at 1AA, Illinois State. This is Ramon Barber. Barber at the 30. Now, Barber, you talked about Smith's grandmother passing away. Barber's brother was hit by a car, drunk driver, and he's in the hospital right now, so that's been weighing on the mind of Ramon Barber. And then you have Joe Watkins, the Auburn transfer, who could be the fastest receiver on the team. He's not playing because of a hamstring, so there's a lot of extra baggage that Denver Johnson had to come into this ballgame with as far as the receivers were concerned.
Well, if you're going to have to deal with the adversity, which every team does in some way or another, you might as well get it done early in the season, resolve yourself to compete and then put it behind you.
2nd and 11 now for the Redbirds. Ball at the 30. Sousa. Option. Right side. Demetrius Johnson. Johnson has some running room. Spins over the 40. Penalty flag down back at the 30. Demetrius Johnson, a couple of years in the Big Ten, doing a great job finding the seam that time.
Holding. Oh, Cliff. Going back to talking about Dwayne Smith, he's going to get nothing but better, too, as he goes on.
Flipping on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Head coach, you've got to hate that for a big game, huh?
Yeah, that kills you. That offensive penalties kill drives. There's a 68% chance, less of a chance to score points in the drive when you have one offensive penalty.
So that pushes the football back to the 16-yard line for Illinois State. We're inside 2 minutes now before we approach the final quarter here from Champaign, Illinois. And Denver Johnson will send trips to the bottom of your screen, facing a 2nd and 26. Sousa. Strong giving chase. He completes the ball to Demetrius Johnson. He's up over the 25, dropped at the 26. And making the play for Illinois is Antonio Mason, the 6-foot sophomore linebacker.
Johnson's made some nice runs today. He catches the screen to the right side, and he moves off the field with great vision. I mean, he could easily cut that ball left across the grain. He probably got hit in the head by the safety filling the lane, but he goes right and gains another 4 or 5 yards. That's good vision. You can't teach that. Either guys have that or they just don't, and he's got it.
Well, we mentioned he was locked up in the traffic with Capay, Jackson, and Marion Barber up in Minnesota, but he was the one-time Wisconsin Player of the Year. Matter of fact, in one ball game his senior year, he had 315 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns in a single game.
Jeez.
So you have to admire. You can play in the Big Ten, play in stadiums like this, or do you want to play? You want to sit the bench, or you want to play? And these guys, well, they choose to get back on the field and play. So you have to admire these kids that transfer from the Division I schools down to the 1A schools.
Yeah. I mean,
the officials now.
Is it just me, Mike? I thought this replay was going to be an experiment next year. Wasn't it?
Well, actually, in some Big Ten games this year, they're going to experiment, but they're not going to let you know which ones they're actually experimenting. But it's obviously talking to somebody upstairs here.
The last thing you want to do is embarrass a zebra, right? Don't do that. Well, yeah, it's funny. You talk about playing time, and in college, heck, I sat for 2 years behind some good football players, and there were some times I wondered if, hey, maybe I want to get out of here and go play. I ended up sticking it out, and things turned out okay, but I certainly thought about maybe moving to a smaller school and teeing it up right now.
It's going to be interesting to see what this call is now after all this running around and conferring. I thought maybe he was looking for a football on the Illinois bench.
Well, it is a gorgeous day, and I like the seriousness of the open by the Illini. You've got the Jets FA teams flying overhead. You got fireworks going on over here. I mean, at least they're taking it seriously. You watch some places, the season begins, and the fans aren't really there, nobody's into it, there's no bands going. I mean, they had it going today a little bit. So I will never get tired as long as I'm in this business or around football. When those Jets come over the top, that's exciting.
Talking to somebody upstairs, obviously his microphone's not on.
Okay, second down.
Don't seem to have any clock problems. It was after Demetrius Johnson made the nice run, the clipping play, brought the ball back. So he's talking to the stats people upstairs, trying to figure out what down it is actually.
Okay.
Scoreboard clock says third down and 16.
I thought it was third down.
Yeah, we're told up here in the box it should be third down. Well, it's 3rd and 16, as you can see. Here's the call.
We apologize for the delay on the field. We needed to verify the down, the correct down. It was third down.
Okay.
You know what? If trying to figure out what down it is going to cause us a 5-minute delay, maybe that instant replay is not a bad idea.
So 3rd and 16 as we get through that. Illinois State's 4 of 11. Third downs this afternoon. Single setback is Edwards now. Make it Johnson. Here comes Souza looking down the middle of the field. Got his man. It's Smith. He's open at the 30. He's going to take it to the house. He's at the 10. 5. Touchdown, Illinois State.
What a big play by the Redbirds.
3rd and 16. Souza. We were told he cannot drop back in the pocket and pass against this Illinois team. He did exactly that, and he goes down the middle with the long ball.
And if you watch him, you see him when he dropped back, he's looking to the left. He's saying, am I taking this ball to number 1? Am I taking it to my number 2 receiver? Finally, he looks back to number 1, finds him. See, he looks far left. Now he works down the middle. Now he goes back down the middle a little bit. And Smith just running right past the Illini defense. That's surprising. The Illini have some speed in the secondary, but Smith is just going to work on him today. Great catch over the shoulder. He still has a tendency to catch the ball in his body a little bit. As he matures next year, maybe another year after that, he's going to catch the ball in his hands and become even more dangerous.
Look at the numbers on Mr. Smith. Going for 2 now, trailing 38-19. Demetrius Johnson in the backfield. Souza, 3-step drop over the middle. Had it, and he dropped it.
Incomplete. The intended receiver.
Yeah, you got to make that catch. Of course, it's hard. You've got to put the ball in the velocity down because you're not going to have a whole lot of time.
Defending for the Illini was Ty Myers.
Dillon had the ball in his hands, and he dropped it. So they fail on the 2-point conversion, but the big play.
I think Myers may have got his hand on that and altered that flight of that ball just enough where it caromed off the pads.
What an afternoon for Dwayne Smith. They weren't sure how he'd respond to his grandmother's death. I think he's used it as an inspiration as Grandma's looking down. Smith with a 74-yard touchdown grab. 38-19 with 1:13 to go. Still with 1 quarter to go after this.
I mean, she's looking down and smiling on her grandson because he is absolutely having a career day. I mean, he's made all the catches. He made catches over his shoulder. He's made catches on the sideline. He's made catches across the middle of the field. He caught that 2 series ago, caught that ball across the middle and took a shot, so it shows that he has some toughness. And Smith is going to be a great addition to this Redbird organization.
Here comes Carroll. Another short kick. Again, it's Anthony McClellan at the 30, and again, he's got it. So the Redbirds actually had better luck with the onside kick as they kicked it to the front line as Brad Haywood muffed a couple for Illinois, but the Fighting Illini get the football thanks to their tight end, Anthony McClellan. Denver Johnson put the gloves on. He's coming out swinging. 38-19 now with 1:12 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Is he going to play a little more conservatively here, or is he still going to go with the blitz? Because you saw the last series, they ran the 0 coverage blitz, and as soon as the running back got past on a scrimmage, there's nobody there to make a play. So it looks like they're going right back to blitz here.
Butcher on 1st down, wants to go upstairs. Pump fake, going down the far sideline, has his man at the 30-yard line. And, he dropped the football. That's the freshman, Lonnie Hurst. And boy, he opened up his career against Missouri. He did not show any signs of butterflies, and I'm sure that young man would love to have this one back.
Hey, you see Butcher with the little pump with his arm. You got a stutter and go on, hoping to catch the Redbird defenders, jumping the short route, and Butcher lays this ball up perfect. That pass wasn't too far. Hurst just slowed down a little bit, lost his concentration, and was unable to make up the speed late in the route. But you know, he's a freshman. He'll get better. He'll make that reception next time.
Hurst, a lot of potential to be a big-time receiver. Halsey, shy of the 35-yard line.
It seems as though as this game wears on that the Redbirds, the longer they stay in this thing, they're starting to tighten the screws on this run defense. Of course, they had the mishap on the sprint draw versus their blitz in the last series. But other than that, they've done a good job keeping this run game in check.
It's a great point you brought up on Hurst on that missed ball. Looks like he just extended his arms and his legs. If he would have just continued his stride, his gait, he would have pulled it in for the touchdown, I'm sure. And I'm sure he's thinking about that as well.
Certainly.
Butcher now to drop back, pass, looking downfield over the middle, has his man, but overshoots him that time. Inside the 40-yard line, inside the 45.
That was a tough ball to get completed. They did a great job with the Redbirds zoning off in cover 2, and you have both inside guys dropping back. It makes it tough to get that ball completed across the middle.
One of those bigger receivers might have had that. Halsey's only 5'11". Nice effort as he extended his body for the catch. You look at one of those 6'3", 6'4" receivers, they might have had that one. Weatherford back to punt again for Illinois. There's the kick. Andrew Poposi lets it hit. And he's got it, and he's hit. He keeps his feet, still on his feet at the 21-yard line, dropped at the 22.
You know, gutsy play there. I know you're trying to make a play and try to get your team back in, but don't be foolish. You know, don't feel the punt on the bounce and get hit and fumble it again. We've already seen that once.
Darnell Ray, good coverage that time, but Poposi just bounced off of him. Moves it up to the 23-yard line. So Poposi's feeling it. I can tell the way he's running out the field. He's feeling the hits he took that time.
You know, I haven't had the opportunity to sit down at length and talk to Denver Johnson just a short period of time. But if his team is any representation of what kind of guy he is, I mean, they are scrappy, they're tough, they're intelligent. They had a couple mishaps, turned the ball over early, but I like this way this team is coached.
Final play of the third quarter here from Champaign, Illinois. Souza wants to go upstairs, and again, he's going deep. Intended receiver got tied up with Darnell Ray. The intended receiver was Mr. Smith again. They got locked up at about the 45-yard line, and the ball fell incomplete.
Catchable. No foul.
Wow, I don't know about that call. I mean, with the catches that Smith has made today, you'd figure that the offense would get the benefit of the doubt with that call. The cornerback, Morton, chucked him about 25 yards down the field, and that's pass interference where I'm from. I don't know what's going on here, but that looks highly illegal.
Darnell Ray, the cornerback, and Souza wants this will be the final play. Souza up over the 25-30, close to the 34-yard line before he's driven down by a couple of Illini tacklers. Making the initial contact once again is Antonio Mason for Illinois. So we played 3 quarters here from Champaign, Illinois. Dwayne Smith with a career afternoon, the former Illini star, keeping Illinois State. They're trying to get them back in the game. 38-19, Illinois on top.
In both academics and athletics.
With so many extras, my Business King rooms make a little guy feel big. And I know how important that is.
Red Roof adds that extra touch.
So business travel won't hurt so much. Red Roof Inn, Anacor Hotel.
Okay, we got third and very long. What's the plan?
Hold on. Their defensive back Miller's nursing a pulled hammy, so go deep. Love you.
Someone's got a pulled hammy. Go deep. Love you.
Get what you need from the internet faster. Sign up for SBC Yahoo DSL for just $29.95 a month, guaranteed. And you could win a trip to the Nokia Sugar Bowl. One more way, we bring it all home.
With his Ready card, he stayed 10 paid nights, and the 11th was on the house. Actually, it was on the roof.
Ready card gets you lots of perks.
If people tell you different, they're just jerks. Red Roof Inn, Anacor Hotel.
Arranging my long-distance carrier?
Do you have a problem with these? These clothes.
Why don't you make a John Becker special?
Try a sandwich made of crab, bologna, and bull.
Ted Danson is Becker, letting loose all week long. This fall on UPN 59.
Shut up and watch.
Own a timeshare? Sell it for cash. Own a campground membership? Sell it for cash. In the last 6 months, over $1 billion in vacation timeshares have been sold industry-wide. Now's the perfect time to buy, sell, or rent your property for cash. Call right now for your free information kit to buy, sell, or rent your timeshare or campground membership for cash. Plus, be one of the next 200 callers, and we'll include 10 secrets to buy or sell your timeshare by Century 21 Vacation Properties. It's only available from this special TV offer. Don't wait until you have to pay another maintenance fee or tax bill. Call now and turn your timeshare into cash. Be one of the next 200 callers for your free information kit, and we'll include 10 secrets to buy or sell your timeshare by Century 21 Vacation Properties. Buy, sell, or rent your timeshare for cash. Call now. Don't wait to pay another maintenance fee or tax bill. It's a free call, so call now. Call 800-326-8907. That's 800-326-8907 for this limited time exclusive TV offer.
Back in Champaign, you see the Fighting Illini with 21 first-quarter points, and Illinois State coming back with 16 in quarter number 3 run.
Yeah, if Illinois State doesn't turn the ball over going in the score in that very opening drive of the game, I mean, they're in this thing.
Al Souza steps up to the pocket and goes down. That's the first sack Illinois registered this afternoon. Souza's been on the run. But, you know, you look at this Illinois football team, they say, we'll have to nickel and dime them if we're going to beat Illinois. We can't play the power football. We're going to have to beat them on the flanks, which they've tried, but they've also gone right down the middle against these guys as well.
Well, they really have. They've tried to run the football at least enough to keep the Illini defensive linemen honest. You don't want to get into a shootout with the Illinois throwing the football every down. That's not going to win the game for you. So they really should probably mix in a run here pretty soon and try to keep those linemen honest. Otherwise, they're just going to rush your passer.
And Denver Johnson saying that Illinois State with 40 kids with 4 years of eligibility left. This one's almost picked off. Darnell Ray, the 6'1 redshirt freshman out of St. Louis, and Eric McGoey. Both of them had a shot at it.
Yeah, the ball kind of hung up there in the air on the slant route. The corner made a nice break on it from the outside. The safety made a nice break from the inside and almost got the thing picked off.
Had 5 losses last year, Denver Johnson did, but you look at it, so they lost to Purdue, Eastern Illinois. Western Illinois was the conference champion. They held Western Kentucky to 3 field goals. They won the national championship in 1AA, and they lost to Youngstown State. They have 5 national titles, so I guess you can't call them impressive losses, but going downfield, incomplete at the 45-yard line. Once again, the intended receiver that time was Alex Spillin.
Yeah, I think if you're Denver Johnson, you want to get back to the things that allowed you to get in this football game and repeat that wide receiver screen, the quarterback draw. The last 2 series have been all passes, and I mean passes down the field, second and third level throws, and they need to get away from that concept. If they line up and just try to throw it all day long, they're going to get killed.
Troy Maskell back in to kick now. High kick, and it's going to be taken by Christian Morton. He's up past the 40, dropped by Poposi at the 42-yard line. 13:59 to go before they put this one in the record books. Illinois on top of Illinois State, 38-19.
Introducing Lincoln's newest luxury SUV, the 302 horsepower Aviator, a smaller, spirited offspring of Navigator. There are those who travel and those who travel well.
Now, if we only had a job.
It's not like I don't have a brain. I'm a smart, intelligent guy.
I'd put my heart and soul into a good opportunity.
I've got the courage and determination to be successful.
I just want to feel at home and secure with a job that I love. We need to go to Royal Publishing. There's no place like Royal. There's no place like Royal. There's no place like Royal.
Mirrorless quality, mirrorless style. How do you choose from all the options?
You have to know what you're doing.
Mike at Hampton, he knows.
For those who will dream a bigger dream and pursue a new path, Bank Plus will be there for you. We promise.
These days, there are a lot of new appliance brands popping up. Stick with American made. Stick with Frigidaire. Now, Frigidaire is less at UFF. Really.
38-19, 13:59 to go. Illinois football resting at just over the 40-yard line. Single setback. And it's up near the 50. Morris Virgil getting some calls now in the second half. Halsey getting some rest. And you look at the game summary, John Butcher, 197 yards. Illinois defense forcing 3 turnovers, but Dwayne Smith and Souza having career days here for Illinois State.
Yeah, Dwayne Smith has had a fantastic day, beating the Illini secondary in almost any way imaginable. And Butcher has 1 interception, but he's going to grade out extremely well today.
Now, Souza, 11 of 16, 197 in the third quarter alone. And the give is to Morris Virgil again. And a junior from Urbana.
Boomer Grigsby makes the stop, number 46.
Boomer Grigsby making the stop again. 179 tackles for that young man from Canton, Illinois. And they said he blew off his spring break. A lot of his buddies went elsewhere to have a good time, and he stuck around Normal to work on his 40 time.
Yeah, he has a chance to play on Sundays as a special teamer, maybe even develop into a starter. He's not only athletically gifted enough to play at the next level on Sundays, but he's also a very, very intelligent player.
Here's the give. Virgil again. He's met immediately. Grigsby in on the initial contact again. Grigsby with 26 tackles against Youngstown State last year. 21 against Western Kentucky. Well, those are Chris Spielman type numbers. What did he have, like 29 against Michigan one year?
Spielman was another one of those short, but very intelligent and strong tackling machines.
Grigsby with 11 tackles last week. He's been active here this afternoon, no doubt about that. 6 feet, 245 pounds, only a junior. So he has another year coming back for these guys. Out of the eye this time. And the give is to Halsey. No, it's Virgil again.
Virgil gets the call.
Illinois back in the run mode here, trying to figure out a running identity for them to take them into the Big Ten season. They still haven't found a play that they can go to and know they're going to get 4 yards on. Every team's got to have that in order to score points, because you're going to get to a 2nd and short, a 3rd and short, and you need to get that thing converted on the ground, especially late in the season when things get windy and things get cold out. You've got to have a run play you can get those yardage on, and they still haven't figured it out yet.
2nd down and 10 now for Butcher and the Fighting Illini. Halsey coming out, and this one's complete to Adiamo, his 2nd catch of the afternoon. He's a 6-foot junior out of Chicago.
Yeah, he runs on a 3-step drop and just pulls up in front of the defender. The Redbirds playing man-to-man, so the corner's gonna play off. The Redbirds haven't shown a whole lot of press coverage, so the wide receiver has 5 or 6 yards to work in and just runs down and stops. And credit that play to John Butcher, the quarterback. I mean, that ball had some zip on it.
Adiamo. Translation means king. Butcher tucks it in, rolls on, and he is level. And there's a penalty flag. It looks like Boomer Grigsby came down with his head. That's got to be the call. And he had a clean shot on the quarterback, and at the last second lowered his head.
You know what? I hate that call. That's just a good, hard-nosed football play. You don't want to see guys get injured and guys ducking their head and spearing people, but you know, there's a difference between a guy aggressively trying to get to the quarterback.
Foul for helmet-to-helmet contact. 15-yard penalty. Previous spot. First down.
Yeah, I don't like this call. You know, it's one thing if he ducks his head all the way down and spears a guy. It's another thing when he just comes in and he's aggressive. Now look, he doesn't duck his head here. He actually uses his hands to push him. That's not helmet-to-helmet contact with an attempt to try to injure a guy. You know, that's just a good hard-nosed football play. That's a poor call by the officials.
Yeah, I can't
15-yard penalty against
can't disagree with you that time because he actually used his hands. You see the penalties today, each with 4. 4 for 50 now for Illinois State, and there might have been some contact with the helmets, but that's obviously going to happen in a game of football. But he actually came up and finished the play with his two hands.
You know, when one guy is 6 feet tall, another guy is 6'4", I mean, you know, what are you going to do if you're a defender?
So Butcher on the delay. It's Morris Virgil. He's got some running room. 15, 10, and he's nailed at the 5-yard line. But Morris Virgil showing off some of the moves that gave him 12 carries, 131 yards, and 3 touchdowns last year in a ball game.
A great job by the offensive line, especially on the right side. The play was designed to run to the left. That huge hole opens up on the right-hand side. He gets through it, uses the stiff arm here to avoid the tackle, and shows great vision to get up the field there. And another great job, too, by the wide receiver there, staying with that stock block. But this cut to the right is what frees him up for big yardage. And then another great cut to get it to the outside of the receiver.
Inside the 5, Halsey gets the call that time. Virgil with 8 carries, 79 yards, and a touchdown on the afternoon.
Yeah, we talked earlier about vision. Some guys either have it or they don't have it. Virgil's one of those guys that's showing some signs of having good vision down the field. You know, because those colors come at you pretty fast once you get through the line of scrimmage as a running back, and you see how the defensive backs closing on you. Some guys have the knack for finding where the holes are, and some guys don't.
2nd and 4. Butcher wants to go upstairs, has his man, another touchdown. That time it's the fullback, Brad Haywood. Little redemption for Mr. Haywood after those muffs on the onside kick. Haywood has his first touchdown.
Yeah, they just wouldn't play action pass to the right. The old USA fake. Every football team from every high school in the Midwest runs the same play at some point. And you just fake that ball to your tailback. It brings your inside linebacker or outside contained guy up to challenge the fullback in the run game. But it's not run game. The fullback runs right past the contained man and in the flat. It's a very difficult play to stop.
Ron Turner, known as the game's great offensive mind, or one of them anyway, going for 2 here, up 44-19. Brad Haywood, 6'1" junior out of Baltimore, Illinois, with his first touchdown of the 2003 season.
A little motion here.
Butcher goes for the lob in the corner, and it's pulled in by Hayden. Great concentration. Penalty flag has been dropped, but they will decline that. Boy, what great concentration by Kelvin Hayden that time.
It might be offense. Let's take a look at this. Look at this call here.
Pass interference, defense. Penalties decline. 2-point conversion is good.
Now watch the concentration. It goes against the defense. The penalty flag does. And Kelvin Hayden, who had 17 touchdowns last year playing junior college football. As a matter of fact, he was the MVP of the national championship game. That's his 2nd touchdown today, 3rd of the year. It's now 46-19, Illinois.
Okay, we got 3rd and very long. What's the plan?
Hold on. Their defensive back Miller's nursing a pulled hammy, so go deep. Love you.
Miller's got a pulled hammy. Go deep. Love you.
Get what you need from the internet faster. Sign up for SBC Yahoo DSL for just $29.95 a month, guaranteed. And you could win a trip to the Nokia Sugar Bowl. One more way, we bring it all home.
Hey, Central Illinois, Bob Dennison Ford's got you covered with 5 of the top 10 vehicles sold in the USA. Like the country's best-selling SUV, the all-new Explorer 4x4, or America's favorite pickup, the F-150. Why not put yourself in a new Ranger, or America's favorite family car, the Ford Taurus? And check out the economical award-winning Ford Focus. Plus, Bob Dennison's got Central Illinois' best selection of used vehicles, all with a 3-day money-back guarantee. You see, we really got you covered at Bob Dennison Ford in Bloomington.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Yes, it does. At Ashley Furniture Home Store, for the first time ever, pay no interest for 3 full years and make no payments for the first 12 months. It's Ashley's ultimate furniture event. That's incredible savings on top of fabulous Ashley Direct prices. With no interest till 2006 and no payments till 2004, girls, it's time to go shopping. You're gonna love this Ashley Furniture Home Store.
Illinois after the two-point conversion. We'll talk more about that in a second as I took a couple of shots to the ribs. Here's the kick. Edwards and Johnson, the deep end for Illinois State. It's Sharon Edwards muffs it, then he goes down on his knee just inside the end zone. So they'll start from the 20-yard line. Today's College Football Saturday has been presented by Lincoln Mercury. Check out the new models at lincolnmercury.com. Now, I was focusing on the great concentration by Kelvin Hayden, and I said that was his third touchdown. Obviously, I meant the two-point conversion.
I know what you meant.
Okay, yeah, but all our viewers are probably saying, wait a minute now, that's confusing. It's 46-19. Hayden had a touchdown in the first half, and he had one against Missouri last week. And that was a two-point conversion, albeit an impressive one, though.
I'm with you, man.
Okay,
I'm with you.
Thanks for having my back, buddy. Souza starting from the 20-yard line. Souza with a big afternoon for Illinois State. Boy, he can hold his head high as he leaves Champaign, Illinois today. You can look at that Gateway Conference coming up, and this young man could have a big season. I mean, this has to do wonders for his confidence.
Well, absolutely. I mean, if they play with this kind of intensity and stick to their game plan and stick to their guns the way they did today, because, I mean, they came in here with about 5 or 6 plays that they were going to run, and they ran them over and over and over and never deviated from them, even when they weren't working. And that's a sign of a coach with confidence in his players that they can execute and his staff.
Gain of 6 on the last play. 2nd and 4 now for Souza. Comes down, trying to set up that option play on the near side of the field. And speaking of Illinois State, you look at their upcoming schedule. After they leave Champaign this afternoon, they have Truman State, then they go to Eastern Illinois, then Florida Atlantic and Northern Iowa. They have a lot of home games this year. This is the first year they've actually had 12 games on their schedule. 7 of the 12 are normal.
You know, I'd expect them to handle Eastern Illinois and Florida Atlantic, but Northern Iowa fields a good football team that has a lot of returning stars on the offensive line.
That at least they're not playing in that dome of Northern Iowa. They're playing in normal. Souza going back upstairs, has his man. It's complete at the 45-yard line. Good catch there that time of the tight end. So Mike Larson has his second grab.
You know, as you watch this game, you wonder, how did Souza, complete about 30% of his passes for only 54 yards last week against Drake? I mean, he's out here throwing balls around today, just completing everything.
You see the no frequent flyer miles. That's a great title there because I guess if you want to travel a lot, you probably shouldn't have landed at Illinois State, at least this year. They don't leave the state of Illinois till October 25th when they go to Youngstown State and they go to Ohio. But coaches love those home games. Another first down for the Redbirds. Souza's moving the chains. Play action. Rolling outside, Scott Moss, the defensive end. He had his man, Steve Fillen. He had it, and he dropped it inside the 40-yard line. That's 2 drops now for Mr. Fillen here this afternoon.
You know, it seems as Souza ran the bootleg, he's running to the left-hand side, and he almost had to catch his breath and kind of pause and wonder what the heck was going on, because one of the wide receivers ran an outcut near the boundary, another receiver ran an outcut to the boundary. I figured one of those guys was supposed to go deep to try to create some separation in the defense. You don't want 2 guys in the same area versus zone running routes. I think there was a mistake there, probably by the inside guy. Should be running up the field or to the corner.
Twins up at the top of your screen. Souza very quickly finds his man. Blown dead for a second there. I thought it was going to be a very, very devastating fumble. Again, another turnover, but Dwayne Smith didn't have possession of the football long enough before he coughed it up.
Well, yeah, Dwayne Smith has been a beast on the slant route all day long. And actually, he catches that ball. It looks like a fumble to me. I mean, he catches it, tucks it away, and then gets the strip. The Redbirds cut a break at that point.
Well, Mr. Smith should sleep well tonight. Obviously, his players like to get out with a victory, but boy, he's had a fantastic game. And his timing couldn't be better, coming back to Champaign, Illinois, facing his former teammates. They swing this one out to Demetrius Johnson. He spins up over the 45. He
go for it here, Mike? 4th down and long. 8 minutes to go.
Might as well, huh?
Why not?
The bench who stopped that time is Ty Myers out of Springfield, Ohio. Didn't play against Missouri. He was banged up. Myers, a couple of years ago, I remember against Ohio State, he had a couple of picks at Ohio State. He grew up about 60 miles outside of Columbus. Oh, they're going to kick it. 7:41 to go. Clock is ticking. Troy Maskell gets the kickoff. Darnell Ray backpedaling near the 10-yard line. Calls the fair catch at the 11 for Illinois. So we're going to take another timeout. 7:31 to go in the ball game from Champaign, Illinois. 46-19, Illinois on top. Temperature 72 degrees at kickoff. It's been a wonderful Saturday afternoon of college football from Champaign. And John Butcher continues to lead the Illini. Under 7.5 minutes to go, up 46-19. Butcher, remember, 3 times threw 4 touchdown passes in a game last year. Has 3 this afternoon. You see the time of possession. Boy, Illinois State's had the football just under 29 minutes.
Who would have thunk it?
Again, you hate to keep bringing up moral victories. I know coaches hate to hear that, but like Denver Johnson said, though, he probably in a perfect world wouldn't play this football game. Good effort that time. That's Pierre Thomas getting some calls.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that John Butcher, the quarterback, is still in the game here. The last thing you want to do is see your very best offensive player go down for an injury when you're leading by 20 or more points. It's about time to probably get him out of there.
1st and 10 after Thomas picked up the first down. Some of the younger players now getting into the ball game for Ron Turner. Butcher still at quarterback. Here's Pierre Thomas again and again. He spins. He's at the 40. He's got some green, and he's going down at about the 40-yard line of Illinois State.
This is the same sprint draw that they had huge success on early in the 3rd quarter with Virgil scoring on it. They just run the, looks like a little play action, but it's really draw action. See the quarterback will roll out opposite, hand it off with the opposite hand, and they're not pulling anybody. It's direct blocking, man on man. 30 finds the seam and moves the ball up the field.
5'11", 190, true freshman out of Linwood, Illinois. Fighting Illini going from the I formation now with 6:16, clock running. Here's the pitch to the left side. 3 straight carries now by the freshman. Pierre Thomas showing some moves. And keep in mind, Halsey's only a freshman.
Tackle made by number 42.
And Thomas doing what he can to catch the attention of the coaches here at Illinois. You think of all the great quarterbacks Ron Turner's had. Looks like he's got some pretty good running backs as well.
Yeah, he's got some depth at the running back position. He's got some guys that can get it done back there. You know, whether they find an identity, what kind of plays they like to run. It seems after today, you've got to figure the sprint draw is probably the best run the Illini have.
2nd and 10 for Illinois. Keeping it on the ground. Morris Virgil pounds his way down to about the 35-yard line. So Virgil gets closer and closer to the 100-yard mark. He's up over 80 at least this afternoon with the 5:19 to go in the ball game.
Number 36.
Other games around the country. Michigan's exploded for 50 now, and the Cougars getting ready for Notre Dame. And BC in the 4th, still leading Penn State 27-14. Iowa all over Buffalo. Wake Forest in the 4th on top of NC State. Ohio State by a field goal over San Diego State. South Carolina leading Virginia.
What kind of upset would it be to see Ohio State drop one to San Diego State and NC State's going with a loss? I mean, who would have figured that?
1st down for the Illini.
Not many people, big guy, but stranger things have happened. I'll tell you, Nebraska opening up on Utah State, Virginia Tech, Georgia by 10 now over Middle Tennessee State. Purdue at halftime, deadlocked in West Lafayette with Bowling Green, and Washington State on top of your old buddies there from South Bend, 9-0.
Give me the phone. I'm calling Tyrone Willingham.
I will give you the phone in about 4 minutes and 36 seconds. How does that sound? Still from the eye. Kendrick Jones in motion now. They give it to Pierre Thomas again, the freshman out of Linwood. He's looked impressive on this series. He's inside the 25-yard line, stopped at about the 24.
You know, and the Redbirds are still hitting. And, you know, you see the safety come in here and lay a lick on him. And you got to admire their courage out here today. I mean, the guys, they really did play hard, and they got after it, and they're fighting here to the bitter end. I think that sprint draw with the Illini run, it's really becoming their best run. It gives the lineman a chance to fire out, hits the guys in the mouth and the back time to decide where he wants to run.
And Butcher gives way to Tim Brasic now, the backup quarterback.
Touchdown.
Here we go, the freshman, Pierre Thomas. It's been the Pierre Thomas show on this possession. He gets inside the 10-yard line. Now, you look at John Butcher's numbers in high school, 60 touchdown passes as a senior. Tim Brasic, who played at Riverside in Illinois, 94 touchdown passes in 2 years, 7,900 yards. As we take another look at Mr. Thomas, who's doing a bang-up job here with this opportunity.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Thomas runs out of gas. I'm just laughing because he's got the little skinny freshman legs, and he's carried the ball 4 times in the last 6 plays on a hot day when he probably didn't expect to play.
You know, earlier I said that Morris Virgil getting closer to the 100-yard mark. How about Pierre Thomas, the freshman? This drive, 7 carries, 75 yards.
Yeah, and that's why on that last play where he probably scores if he's a little fresh. You know, he's playing at the major college level now. It might be just a little bit too much for those skinny freshman legs to handle. He'll get bigger and he'll get stronger, but yeah, you could see him wavering a little bit as he caught that pitch. He just not enough gas to take it to the house there.
You saw Brasic talking things over with Ron Turner. He's probably the heir apparent, John Butcher. Of course, John Butcher is going to apply for a 6th year here after transferring from Iowa. But now let's take a look at the Fifth Third Bank hard-working player of the game.
John Butcher goes 16 to 23 for 207. More impressive, 4 scores and only 1 interception. I mean, his quarterback rating is going to be way over 150. He's off to a fantastic start for his senior year. I really think this guy has a chance, if he continues to develop, work on his footwork, speed up that delivery a little bit. He has a chance to be a first, second-round pick.
With 446 yards against Arkansas State and 305 in that loss to the Buckeyes in overtime. Pierre Thomas now puts his head down and he hits a stone wall at the 8-yard line. But Butcher, what really impressed me, the fact that you lose guys like Brandon Lloyd and Walter Young. And what impressed me is in the first game when he was 31 of 44, he had 8 different receivers. But this young man, Tim Brasic, now, he's not as big as John Butcher at 61-85, redshirt freshman, but he had 9 letters in high school. And in the quarterfinals, threw for 589 yards against Joliet Catholic. 58 touchdown passes as a senior, 94 in 2 years, 7,900 yards. But Ron Turner said, hey, he played for his dad, and they never ran the football. They probably ran it maybe 3 or 4 times a game.
Ball start offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
My point, though, is you get a guy like Brasic playing for a guy like Ron Turner. Give him 4 years. Now, what would have happened if John Butcher had 4 years under Ron Turner?
He'd be probably about 5 years further along in his development than he is right now, because it certainly is a pro-style offense. They move people around and they run a variety of plays from a variety of sets. It's most as a college quarterback could get prepared for the pros is probably right here in Ron Turner's system.
Kurt Kittner passed for 70 touchdowns. That's a school record here at Illinois. And Ron Turner, you know what really stands out with Ron Turner in my mind? Now, you talk about the likes of Jeff Garcia, Eric Kramer, Jim Harbaugh, Steve Stenstrom at Stanford. What do you have, like 10,000 yards passing out there? Sean Salisbury, Rodney Peete, Bucky Richardson, Dave Craig, John Congemi. What I'm getting at, Rod, is those are very productive quarterbacks, but not big name, not big-time quarterbacks. But under Ron Turner, they were very, very productive.
Well, I don't think there's any coincidence at all that quarterbacks put up big numbers around Ron Turner, because he runs a very advanced style offense, and not pro-like. I mean, this is pro offense. I mean, their terminology, the plays. I mean, this is a pro offense. It reminds me a lot of what Foster runs up there for the Giants. It's that same kind of philosophy where they throw a variety of different plays at you and hope to catch you in a defense where you can't match up.
Adi Adiamo almost had the touchdown. Brasic almost had his first collegiate touchdown pass. Threw it probably a millisecond too late. Something Butcher might have done last year, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Or he would have leaned back on his back foot and thrown it high and away. But now his footwork is so much better, and Butcher has the ball low and inside, and he made some great throws today.
So Gachman continues his perfect afternoon. He's had a big day. Inside 2 minutes now. Minute 58 to go. Before this one is history. The Fighting Illini on top of the Redbirds, 49-19. Beautiful blue skies in Champaign, Illinois. 49-19. The Fighting Illini about to move to 1-1 on the season. Ron Turner deep in his mind know that probably should be 2-0, but they'll take it as Sharon Edwards takes the kick. He's up over the 20-yard line, 25, dropped at the 30-yard line. So now with 1:51 to go, you know Denver Johnson's telling Mike Souza, all right, we're not going to win the football game. Let's go down and see if we can get another touchdown.
Yeah, you also don't want to see anybody get hurt either. Yeah, you might run the ball here a few times and shut it down. They have absolutely no chance to win a football game. You know, don't risk injury on your part. You know, if they play, like we said earlier, if they play with this kind of intensity and they game plan for opponents in their division like they've game planned today, I mean, they're going to be wildly successful at the Division I AA level. I mean, I wouldn't surprise me to see these guys go deep in the playoffs.
Minute 51 to go, 49-19. Souza, probably his last possession of the day, has Smith again at the 40, and he's driven back, but the forward progress should get the spot close to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, Smith is a beast. I mean, this guy came into unfriendly confines, a place where he used to play, and just lit it up. I mean, you see him make a catch on the out. We've seen him catch the post, the slant, the corner. I mean, you name a route, he's caught it today. I mean, they've got to figure out a way to stop this guy. You might want to double him at this point, right?
Well, you talk about Smith and his buddies transferring from Illinois to Illinois State. Ron Gunther, the AD here for 12 years, played at Illinois. His brother Hank played at Illinois State. Only 55 miles separated. There's a pick and drops. Would have been the first pick of the afternoon. He had it, he dropped it. That's Taman Jordan, the 5'11 junior out of Tempe, Arizona.
You know, which is unusual because Ron Turner admitted that he likes to recruit the state. That he doesn't spend a whole lot of time in other states outside of Texas. But they're pulling in some guys from all over the country.
And you talk about other connections, too, of this football game. Roger Powell, the basketball player at Illinois. His dad was a basketball star at Illinois State. Estes Hood, backup tight end here to Illinois. His dad, Estes Hood, a great defensive player for Illinois State, played with the Packers for 7-8 years. As a matter of fact, his jersey's retired in Normal. 65 seconds to go, 49-19.
Josh Fisher, 36.
I'm sure there's a lot Denver Johnson will take out of this football game on the positive side. Souza goes upstairs, has Ron Barber. Barber pulls it down there inside Illinois territory, close to the 40-yard line.
Souza really has been impressive. I mean, you look at the film of him last week, and I don't know which Souza this is, but he wasn't playing last week. There's some guy out there with the same jersey number, you know, throwing the ball around, but it wasn't this kid. This kid's playing fantastic today.
Now, he made a believer out of me. I know I told you on the drive over to the stadium today, I said, boy, they've got to get more production out of him than they did last week with 45 yards.
Here are some scores.
And he's come up with it today. I mean, he's made a ton of great throws, considering it's more difficult when, you know, the Illini know you have nothing else to do but pass. It's even more difficult. He still found a way to drill some balls in there. Like, for example, that last catch was a frozen rope. That ball that Souza threw.
That's Ramon Barber who made the grab. He's had a good afternoon as well, filling in for Joe Watkins. I was kind of looking forward to seeing Joe Watkins, who 2 years ago played in 12 games for the Auburn Tigers. And Denver Johnson saying, if we really have a breakaway guy, it's probably Watkins, but he didn't see any action because of the hamstring, the tight hamstring, and it looks like Ramon Barber might have a cramp.
Oh, what a great catch. I think he just has cramps. It's hot out there. He's played a lot of football. I mean, you got to go back to look at the time of possession. You find that Illinois State's had the ball over 30-some-odd minutes. I mean, the guy's just worn out.
You look at that highlight, a nice grab by Barber, but Sharif Abdullah, the cornerback, did a nice job of fending off the blocker to make the initial contact on that stop.
Sure. Yeah, he's just got a cramp. He's a little warm out there, lost some water out of the system. He'll be fine.
So Mike Souza, 6 feet tall, 177 pounds, out of Royal Oaks, California.
You're going to go to work here and get the 2-minute offense in place and get some work on it. Why not practice it against a live opponent?
Last year he rushed for 224 yards, the third most ever by a quarterback at that school, and I think he'll top that easily this year. Souza going down the middle of the field looking for Smith, and he had him and he dropped it just beyond the outstretched fingertips of Dwayne Smith.
You've got to figure Smith is a little tired here. I mean, he didn't quite have the burst that we saw earlier in the game with him exploding out to catch that ball. He ran underneath it and was just hoping that it would fall down in his hands. He didn't have the extra burst to stretch out and get that ball. But another great throw. I mean, that ball's right on the money. Single right, Twins left. Same formation they've been using all day. Souza drops back. Throws left for another completion.
And again, Massengale gets out of bounds.
Pitch made by number 88, Avery Massengale.
Near the 25-yard line. You know, Souza, we didn't expect to see any pocket passing today, and he's done quite a bit of that, too.
He certainly has. And we saw in the first half, they did a lot of movement with him, trying to get him out of the pocket with the bootleg, the quick screen, try to get him throwing the ball on the move. In the second half, they've really settled down and done some successful, had some successful plays out of just straight drop back.
Smith comes back in. Massengale goes out. Final 40 seconds. Another first down for the Redbirds. Twins at the top of your screen. Some movement down there. Mike Larson, the big tight end, moved before the snap. And that'll push it back 5 yards.
Fire the snap. Ball start offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Souza at this juncture, 31 of 52 for 371 yards. Last week he threw 16 balls. He's put it up 52 times here this afternoon.
And last week he threw, what, like 6 times for like 15 yards?
He had 45 yards. He was 8 of 16 last week.
Yeah.
Look at Illinois last year, 5,356 yards of total offense, 5,041 the year before. Right now, the story, the score, obviously, is Illinois. But the Redbirds of Illinois State certainly doing a great job moving the chains anyway. You look at Illinois, in Missouri last week, at UCLA, Cal, and there's Wisconsin, Purdue. So,
I mean, you got to figure UCLA is going to be improved over what they've had there for the last couple of years. And California is a team that lost 16 starters. They're not the caliber that they were last year.
We're going to take a quick time out. Final 24 seconds when we come back. Champaign, Illinois. Denver Johnson. Valiant try today, but they trail 49-19. Back in Champaign now, the final 20 seconds, 49-19. Illinois gets ready to embark on the Rose Bowl to take on UCLA. Illinois State, it'll be Truman State. Souza, 53 attempts here this afternoon. Well, he'd love to play like that every week, I think. Tucks it in. And he goes down inside the 20-yard line.
The Illini doing a good job there in cover 4, matching up with the routes there. The safeties play the middle quarters, and the corners play the outside quarters, and they matched up everybody in their zone pretty tight.
You know, Rod, I said when they took over this possession, I said, okay, we're not going to win the game. Let's go down and see if we can get another touchdown. 9 seconds, timeout on the field. They're inside the 20-yard line. They are trying
to score
their darndest to score another touchdown here.
Sure. Yeah, I really like the way Denver Johnson's team plays, and we thought that obviously they're outmanned when it comes to size, speed of the players, but where they're going to have some fight and hang in here and try to compete. A lot of 1AA schools come in and play a team like Illinois and just get killed and give up, and the game gets way out of hand. That's why you get those 70-0 scores and 60-something scores. Well, these guys fought like mad today, and held the ball for over 32 minutes and moved the football, almost outgained Illinois, put up a good fight. If they don't turn the ball over early a few times, this really could have been a nail-biter.
Yeah, that's a good point. You go back to that first possession. They took it from the 35 all the way down to the end zone before the ball was actually coughed up. Final 9 seconds now. Souza ready to work with Sharon Edwards. In the backfield, he completes it out of bounds. It's Massengale out at the 10-yard line with 5 seconds to go. So Souza and company trying to get one more on the board before they head back to normal.
What do you run here, the slant or the fade?
Well, 5 seconds to go. I'd say what? They've got one last shot, huh?
Put Smith down here on the near hash and throw the fade route. Hope you get one-on-one coverage. It's worked before.
Well, buddy, we're about to find out. There's Twins. He goes up top, and it's knocked out of bounds, incomplete, with 2 seconds to go. So they will have one more shot. Looks like they're bringing on the kicking team to put 3 more on the board anyway.
Why not get some work on the kickoff team, man?
Well,
or the field goal team, if you will.
Stephen Carroll last year, he's a good kicker. He had a 53-yard field goal, 56-yarder. Long the 48 last week, and he drills it down the middle. That's the final play of this ball game. So, Illinois State wraps up the contest with 3 points. Denver Johnson goes back after losing 49-22. You got about 15 seconds. Your final thoughts on the game?
Hey, a great job by Illinois. They wanted to get in the winning way. You got it done. Established a run play that I like in the sprint draw. Illinois State fought like mad, but just didn't have enough.
So the Fighting Illini of Illinois victorious. They go to 1-1. Illinois State, after winning last week, they fall to 1-1. John Butcher, 4 touchdown passes on the day. That's the 4th time in his career already. He struck 4 times. So for Rod Smith, this is Mike Gleason saying so long from Champaign, Illinois. The home opener in 2003, victorious for Ron Turner, his 32nd victory, so he is number 4 now on the all-time win list. This has been a presentation of ESPN Plus, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports television. So long, everybody, from Champaign, Illinois.
And the score was a 28-yard field goal by number 99, Stephen Carroll.